Our staircase caused our divorce. I would like to tell everyone that this is a bad joke, but it's not. English is not my first language, so excuse me for any spelling mistakes. I, 33M, have been married to my wife, 28F, for almost 8 years now. We've always had our ups and downs, but today was our breaking point. We have an old house built in 1955 that we renovated step by step. One of the remnants of its post-World War II era is its small steps. It is nothing to cause concern, but everyone always needs to tread careful not to misstep because it could cause you to trip. Now comes the problem that went overboard ongoing a year. My wife has always been a hardhead. She doesn't like to apologize and is not a very emotional person. She's quite independent and someone who works hard and is a great mother, but she always has had problems with acknowledging a problem, shifting blame, trying every trick in the book to not take accountability. So our dangerous staircase is also her personal little stacking area where she stacks clothing and other stuff she wants to take upstairs or downstairs. I told her before all of this that this is dangerous and someone could get seriously hurt. Cue the first incident a year ago. As the light in the hallway portion is dim, I didn't see she put clothing again next to the railings and tripped. This caused me to tumble down the stairs and hurt my back and elbow. She didn't check up on me, even though she heard me fall. I get it, she's not the caring type, so after the initial agitation I brushed it off, again because I know she's not very emotional. But I begged her not to put clothing or objects on the staircase because of this, and I told her this would happen. Next few days or so she does it again. Cue a half year later, our 6-year tells me, "Mommy does dangerous stuff by putting all these things on the staircase." This woke me up and I beg and plead again not to do it because even our daughter thinks this is dangerous. I tried multiple times taking clothes away, but she did it again time and time again. The inevitable happens and our 6-year-old tumbles down the stairs. I run up and thank God she is okay. I check her up and she said, "Mommy really shouldn't be putting clothes there." After this I actually cried and pleaded to please stop doing this. This helped for about a week and she did it again. I started brushing it off because I knew she wasn't going to change. After the birth of our son, I got more agitated and resentful of her careless nature and told her if I ever dropped down the stairs while holding my son there would be hell to pay. Nothing. Absolutely nothing on her part. Today the inevitable happened again and I tripped over a vacuum cleaner she had stacked at the bottom of our stairs in a blind spot. I tripped and fell while holding our son, barely holding on and hitting my elbow on the stairs. I got so mad because the vacuum cleaner was still between my legs and kicked it out from between them out of pure frustration. She comes flying in the hallway yelling at me, if I am normal for kicking the vacuum cleaner, and then storms off. "No, honey, are you okay? What's that noise?" I bring my son up to bed and a feeling of pure rage just sets in. I feed my 6-month-old son and put him to bed and go downstairs kicking all stuff off the stairs and go into the kitchen and yell at the top of my lungs and push her directional the staircase to start cleaning up this mess that almost caused me to drop my son. Her family was at our home for New Year's drinks and held me back while I kept yelling at her. This isn't all within COVID regulation of my country, as I can invite limited amount of guests with a mask on. They tried to yell back at me, but I told them to fuck off if they think this behavior is normal, endangering her kids and husband, and yelled at them to leave. She stated that because I pushed her she wants a divorce, not once acknowledging yelling at me or causing me and her son to fall. I actually told her I perhaps thinks it's best if we part ways. My mother is pleading us to reconcile our differences for our 2 children because she doesn't want them to grow up with divorced parents, but I have no idea how to solve this. I know I shouldn't have pushed her or yell at the top of my lungs. My protective fatherly instinct kicked in, if I can describe it like this, which again is no excuse. I have no idea how to fix this or if my marriage is worth saving. It sounds absolutely ridiculous it had to come to this. It's one thing to be forgetful. She is being willfully neglectful. If you drop a baby falling down the stairs, they could die. She can't make the effort to protect the lives of her kids. Also, my partner isn't the emotional type either, but if he heard me fall down the stairs he would definitely come check on me, and if he didn't that would be a deal breaker for me on its own. Your wife behaves as though she simply doesn't care about anyone in your family. We've always had our ups and downs. Pun not intended. You have a lot more patience than me. Personally, I would have instituted the black garbage bag rule after the first few warnings. Whatever I find on the stairs goes in the bag and out with the trash. Even if it was the vacuum cleaner. Another one would be purchased. Eventually. Your staircase didn't cause your divorce. Your wife's selfish actions did. If the staircase wasn't a factor, it would have been something else. There is absolutely no excuse for her continuing to stack things on the stairs after repeated instances of her husband falling and getting injured. If you think this is detrimental at 33 years of age, imagine how much worse the impact could be in another 33 years. This marriage is not worth saving. Document the dates and times that these incidents occurred, especially those involving your children. Sue for primary custody on the grounds that your wife endangered the children's safety. You ain't the only one feeling rage. This genuinely makes me want to scream at her. Those strong feelings are your paternal instincts for your children, and yes, you shouldn't have pushed her, but she's endangering you and her kids' lives, I understand. Divorce and find a wife who is emotionally there for you. You don't deserve to settle. You can find someone much better to provide for your kids much better. Do you want your kids picking up and learning her behavior? Why does this make me so angry? She's literally putting you and your kids in danger. A liability and awful woman. It's got to be some kind of mental condition that putting stuff on the stairs massively outweighs safety even after accidents have happened. She always has had problems with acknowledging a problem, shifting blame, trying every trick in the book to not take accountability. Yeah, this is your real problem. This is a huge character flaw and I'm not sure if it is one that can be fixed. Stand your ground. I say this with respect. This was my marriage for years and it took us separating for him to realize and understand he hurt me. During our separation we talked and he acknowledged the things he did to hurt me, not taking responsibility, not accepting my hurt over this, and we came to a much better place. Right now she is taking your silence as acceptance, but she needs to realize it is not acceptable, so therefore I say, stand your ground. Either way you will be at peace for it because you chose to enforce boundaries that align with your belief that her behavior is dangerous and unacceptable. My wife used to leave her shoes in our narrow hallway all the time. I trained our 2-year-old to throw her shoes in the trash if they were in the hallway. 6 pair of shoes later she stopped leaving her shoes in the hallway. You fell down the stairs and she didn't even went to check if you were hurt, that ice cold. That shows she has zero care for you. Even the worst women I dated would run to check how I was. When she puts things on the stairs that need to go up, and you know they need to go up, and you walk past them on your way up, do you ever help carry them up? I have buckets that I keep right by the stairs. Anything that needs to go up or down goes in the buckets. My whole family will walk past the buckets 100 times a day, but absolutely no one but me will ever carry anything up or down to be put away. It's infuriating. It doesn't help with the larger picture. There are clearly big issues if she doesn't care that you fell down the stairs with your baby and you were screaming at her in front of family, but if you do stay together, maybe try carrying stuff up the stairs when you go instead of just getting mad at her for not doing it. It sucks that y'all keep getting hurt. Not sure what you mean by a blind spot big enough to store a vacuum cleaner. I also feel like your 6-year-old kid is parroting your words, so I wouldn't treat your kid as an outside perspective. Up to you how you want to handle this. One side of me wants to think of solutions to the stairs issue to save your marriage and family, but the stairs are just a symptom of a bigger problem. Your wife's callousness will come up in more ways over the years. You and your kids don't deserve this. So therefore I think the stairs issue can be fixed, but it shouldn't be. I think you should seriously consider this your wake-up call and split. Does she put them all over the stairs like she's making a trap for you? Do you have trouble with your eyes? I live in an old Dutch house with steep stairs and usually I look at them. Also Dutch stairs are called a trap, go figure. My partner sometimes put clothing on the banister and I have to point out that the right-handed will instinctively reach if the fall. But here is a bit of advice, watch where you are going and change the damn light bulb. Both of you are wrong. You should never put your hands on another in anger. She should have been mindful of the danger. How many times did you go up the stairs without picking up and carrying a load up? If were me I would have been helping more with that and also setting everything off the steps to the floor. I feel like a catch-all basket or motion sensor night lights would have gone a long way here. It's like you two got so stuck on this that neither would budge. Though I do wonder at what is going on in your wife's head for her to not care this much. Maybe this is her way of getting out of the relationship. Divorce. It's even worse that she cares more about the vacuum than her family. She's a bitch. She has far more problems than stacking things on the stairs. That is just a symptom of her lack of empathy and inability to care for her children and husband. Some people aren't emotional and that's fine. But it is not normal to not give a single shit about your husband and children, who supposedly love getting hurt. Especially when they are falling down the stairs. People have died that way. She sounds genuinely sociopathic. She doesn't even pretend to care. If I were you, I wouldn't bother trying to fix your relationship. Fact of the matter is, she's shown she doesn't give a shit about any of you and your safety. She doesn't care when it's you telling her to stop. She doesn't care when it's your daughter. She only expresses emotion when you retaliate against her. My wife is like this, but our stairs are quite wide. Fell really hard one time and felt like my arm broke. Luckily I didn't, but the pain was big for more than a week. But like someone stated already, if there is shit clothing items, I put it in the laundry or the bin. Your wife has been thinking about divorcing you for a while. She just needed an explainable reason for the family and moral support. This story is going to turn into, he overreacts, and is so angry and controlling over small things. See, he has even turned physically violent. And yeah, you should not have pushed her. You had the high ground until then. Your wife isn't as good a mom as you may think. Inability to accept responsibility for the consequences of your actions is like something children learn. Your kids are going to learn it. Heck, your daughter sounds like she's starting to understand it. Your wife sounds emotionally immature, and that's going to have profound effects on your kids, unfortunately. Anyway, divorce her. I don't even know you, but my first instinct would be to show concern for you after you took a fall, especially with an infant in your arms. She can't even do that. Yikes. 1. Not willing to listen. 2. Not seeing the danger this causes for your spouse and children. 3. Not caring. Noel, you alright? 4. Putting the blame on others. These are all pretty big red flags. She literally endangers her children. Plenty of grounds for divorce. Moving house is not a guarantee for her behavior to stop. Maybe the stairs will be safer, but she still wouldn't care what happened. Besides that, your daughter is already picking up signs of her mother's unsafe behavior and thus also noticing her mom not caring, not listening to her or you. Also, the fact that your family doesn't really support you concerns me. Copied my reply as a stand-alone comment, hence THR moving house. Why didn't either of you put a table or bins near the stairs to hold stuff? I also do this, but have a chair at the bottom of my stairs to place items on. I would be very clear about it. Sit down, calmly, and speak to her about it. Apologize for pushing her. I understand your frustration, but it was still wrong to do, and explain to her that not keeping the stairs clear is going to end your marriage one way or another. If she continues to do it, then you know where her priorities lie. It's clear y'all or at least need a trial separation from each other. There are serious communication and/or mental health issues that got you here and are not easily resolved. She's being negligent about the staircase, but you are the one who had a full rage attack. Get yourself under control. Your wife sounds like a fucking asshole. She is purposefully negligible and doesn't give a shit about your family and would just shrug when any of you can break your neck. You need a divorce. Staying together for the children is just asking for disaster and very possible death. She is poison and an extremely toxic influence. There is a world of difference between not emotional and doesn't give enough of a fuck to check when your partner tumbles downstairs. I'd be fucking livid after the first time it happened. Give her her damn divorce, and try to get custody of your kids since their mother can't provide a safe home. Doesn't sound like the stairs are up to code. The staircase did not cause your divorce. The fact that your wife doesn't care about you or her children caused the divorce. Please leave and take your children with you. They deserve to be with someone who loves them and will take care of them. She is not the caring type. Well, she obviously is not. She doesn't care about you, your safety, or that matters the safety of her kids. Getting away from this woman is probably the best you can do for yourself and your kids. I hope you'll sort things out for yourself, and realize you deserve more than this. Wow. I'm not an emotional person at all. I honestly can't stand crying, and I certainly don't feel moved by someone's tears or hard times. But if I caused my wife to trip on something and fall, you bet your sweet ass I'd be there in a second, worried and guilty. We don't have kids yet, human ones anyway, but for a parent not to care about their own children, that's just messed up. You owe it to yourself and to your children to get out of there. You deserve a partner who cares about you. Your children deserve to live in a safe and healthy environment. Take pictures of the staircase as proof. Don't let this go. I wish you and your children a good 2021. Her convenience is more important to her than the safety of you and your children. I don't know how to reconcile such a deep difference in values. Normally I would push for couples counseling, but I've never seen it help when one person, or both, refuses to take any accountability for their actions. Unless she apologizes, acknowledges her harmful actions, promises to change, and then makes good on that promise, I would be very hesitant to try to save the marriage. There will be future staircases. Your marriage won't survive the next one if you don't deal with this one completely. I'm sorry. Sell the house and move. Install lights. Create a pulley system to lift lower items. Watch where you're going? There's an infinite number of options here. Get the divorce. She doesn't care about you or the kids, and she's lazy. Too lazy to put the clothes where they belong or put the vacuum away. Who does your life insurance pay out to? Don't try to save your marriage and please, fight for full custody. Your wife sounds like an awful human being and you shouldn't let her near your kids without supervision if she didn't react when both of the children fall. Reading this made me think it's done on purpose. You don't intentionally keep leaving stuff on a staircase after someone has tripped and fallen, especially when you have kids. Then if you forget and your kid falls, it's not a mistake you ever make again. Sounds like divorce is a good thing here. I actually thought you were the one initiating it. There is no fix. She was trying to piss you off. And she wanted a way out of the relationship. She sucks. Wow man, I don't have much to say besides I'm sorry. This behavior is beyond ignorant, careless. It is completely abhorrent and dangerous. People die from falling down stairs pretty often and get injured falling down stairs all the dang time. This isn't being stubborn. Stubborn is when my girlfriend wants shrimp scampi for dinner and won't budge on it lol. Good luck man. Once again I'm sorry but at this point it's about you and your children's safety. Oh, and her not giving a shit about you falling is just disgusting. Edit. Added that last sentence. Do you have a life insurance policy with her as a beneficiary by chance? Do you know if she had one made for you and the kids? Growing up in a dysfunctional home is a lot worse than growing up with divorced parents. If only my parents would have divorced, my life would be a lot different and I'd have a lot less CPTSD. Not being emotional doesn't mean you do not care about the well-being of your children and husband. Seriously, I thought you'd be the one asking for the divorce. I can't say I support you flipping your lid at her to the point you had to be restrained. However, the safety of your kids should be one of her top priorities. Fuck you, staircase. Sorry I didn't read the thread but just wanted to throw that in. The Elevator Gang. You do not have a stair problem. You have a wife problem. How the hell did you fuck her enough times to birth 2 kids? No, honey, are you okay? What's that noise? Imagine the rest of your life. The denial can only go for so long. Go into the kitchen and yell at the top of my lungs and push her directional the staircase to start cleaning up this mess that almost caused me to drop my son. This is what happens when you repress your feeling to such an extent that they come out as violent outbursts. I think there is something deeply wrong with that woman, like she has no empathy at all. What kind of person hears their partner fall down the stairs and doesn't even check if they're okay? Even her children possibly being injured doesn't change her carelessness or evoke much of a response. Being right is more important to her than the safety of her family. That's insane. I'd be afraid for the children's well-being if she got custody of them. Okay, even if you're not a caring person. If you hear your spouse fall down the stairs, you go and check on them. Why even marry someone if you're going to just not care about them? You're right to end things with her. She isn't a fit wife or a fit mother. Both you and your children deserve better.